I conduct a lot of free training sessions. The video that you are about to watch is part of my GA4 or Google Analytics 4 training session series. This is the third video in this series. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't gone through the first two sessions, then please go through those first two sessions. In those sessions, I discussed overview of GA4, what GA4 is, how is the data model, how it's different from universal analytics. Then in the second session, I went through the reporting interface and showed you each and every report. Then today, what I wanted to touch on is the exploration. This is one of the top sections where you'll be spending a lot of time. So exploration is under Explore. There are predefined reports in GA4, and there is a way for you to explore your data. Predefined reports are under report section. They are powered by a different data set than the Explore is. Explore is not for report creation. Explore is, as the name says, for data exploration. For reports, you have reports, and you can create also your own reports using Looker Studio, which was called Data Studio. So Explore is one of the features that I like the most about GA4. It allows you to dig deeper. These are the templates that are available to you. First is a blank, empty template. You can start from scratch. Next is a free form, which allows you to, again, create your exploration any way you want. Pretty much you can start with blank or free form. Then there are funnel exploration that allows you to see how the traffic is falling or going through on your site step by step. So you can create any number of steps and you can arrange them to get funnel exploration. And generally used for e-commerce site where you can see when people add the products in their shopping cart, when they click on the checkout, add payment info, add shipping info, and finally purchase the product. So you can do all that visualization and exploration using funnel. Path exploration shows you how users are going from one page to another, one event to another. It's not predefined steps like this. It just shows you how they are moving across your site. Then you also have segment overlap that allows you to see how your segments are overlapping. So for example, if you create a segment of people doing X and people doing Y, is there an overlap? Those kind of things, like people who downloaded a white paper and also watched a video. You can do those kind of segment overlaps. So I'm going to start with a blank exploration. That'll give you an idea about everything. So let's click on blank. This opens up the interface for exploration. The way this interface is designed is the main area where you will have your exploration. The data will show up here. On the left-hand side, you have the options to pick the dimensions and metrics and segments, etc., and arrange them in the way that you want. So what are dimensions? Dimensions are the way to categorize your data. For example, country is a dimension. Then with each dimension, there are numbers associated with that dimension. So those are called metrics. First, you need to pick a dimension and metric to build this report site. Here is the name of exploration if you want to save it. By default, it just says untitled exploration. That's why you must have seen a lot of untitled explorations if you don't give it a name. They'll all show up here. The moment you click on blank, it shows up right here. Whether you do anything else or not, it will show up. So let's click on the one that we just started. Underneath that is your date range. In GA4, by default, you can only have 2 months of data. So exploration cannot go beyond 2 months unless you change it in admin settings, and you can change that to 14 months instead of just 2 months. But you cannot do more than 14 months in exploration. So keep that in mind. 14 months is the max that you'll get in exploration, but by default, it will be 2 months. Then you have the segment section where you pick a segment that you want to analyze the data for. Then you have the techniques that you can use to explore your data. Right now, I'm looking at freeform. That's the default that gets created. But you have cohort, funnel, segment. Those are the things that I showed you in the previous screen. Underneath it is the visualization format. So right now it's a table format. So when we create a table will be created here, but you can also have donut chart, line chart, scatter plot, bar chart, etc. Depending on what you pick the technique, these things will change. So if I'm looking at freeform, then these are the options that you're going to get. Then you can also put segments to do segment comparison, and rows and columns is how you define your data. And then you can also put filters. You'll notice when you started first exploration, there was nothing in here. But when I picked up funnel exploration, these things automatically got appended here and they're not removed. So you can remove them if you would like. That does not mean they'll go away from any of the reports. That just means your interface is clutter-free. So to pick a dimension, you click on this plus sign, and that opens up the interface to pick any dimension that you want. So for example, if I want to look at pages report, I can click here, or I can also type page, and that'll narrow down to everything that is page related. So let's say if I want to look at page path and query string, which is the URL of the page, then all I need to do is click here and then click on import. Now page path and query string shows up here in my dimension. You can pick as many dimensions as you want. So let's say I'm going to also pick page title and screen name. I think they're the same thing. But let's say I want to use this as well. Now, metrics, similar stuff. You click here and you pick the metrics. So let's say I want to use session. And then it gives me sessions. I can import it. Once you have the dimensions and metrics here, you can then drag and drop them to create your report. So let's say I want to look at page title. I'm going to drop it in rows. And then I need to also associate a metrics with it. That's how the report will show up. So I take the sessions and drop it in values. Now it's going to go build that report or exploration for me. So here are the page titles and here are the sessions for that page title for this time frame. So that's how you build exploration. Now, if I want to filter this and only look at the content that's related to GA4, I can drop that in page title and pick a filter criteria contains GA4 and apply it. Now, only those pages which have GA4 in them are the ones that I'm looking at. So that's how you create your exploration. And you'll notice that I didn't pick both the dimensions. If I don't need to, then I don't have to pick this dimension. This area is just for me to see all my dimensions, because if they provide all these dimensions here, it will be a big list. So they don't want to do that. Instead, they want you to pick the ones that you really want. So let's say if I want to look at the country as well, I can pick country here. And now I can drop country in rows. Now I'll see every page and every country. Then by default also, you'll see there are only 10 rows available. You can click this to increase it up to 500 rows. So you get 500 rows in one chart here. Now, if I take this country and drop it in columns, then all the columns will show the country. So whichever makes sense for you in terms of exploration, you can pick that format, whether it's rows, whether it's columns, you decide. And it's great for analysts to do exploration. This is where you'll find insights. So this is it for today. And if there are any other topics that you guys want me to cover, maybe I'll cover another exploration technique. Maybe I'll go in deeper into administrative area, maybe creating segments, audience. There's a lot you can do in GA4. And those little pieces here and there will make a huge difference in how you're able to use this. All right. So hopefully I'll see you in the Optizent Academy membership. And if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Also, don't forget to check the links in the description of this video. I will see you in the next video.